Brian, welcome back to the show, man.
Hey, buddy, good to be here. Thank you. Been a
Yeah,
while.
I love the t-shirt.
Yeah,
It's
I had to
Bluey,
wear it. Had to
Bluey
wear
holding an AR, and it's one that I designed a while back. It's got my logo on the back, and it says "Pedophiles aren't people." And people look at the shirt when I wear it, and they're like, "Wait a second, if I can't say anything."
it.
They're like, "He's right. What am I supposed to say?" Even if they think that it's offensive, but if they say something, it's like, "Oh, so you're in the camp of the pedophiles?" Okay, you
Yeah,
can't say it. There's no rebuttal to it.
yeah, no, for sure. The only thing I've gotten is like everybody goes, "Oh my God, that's Bluey. I love Bluey." I'm
Yeah,
talking young people, old people, whatever. I'm like, I didn't even know who Bluey was. I just like the shirt, and
yeah,
everybody's like, "Oh, it's Bluey. It's Bluey. I want that shirt. I love it." And so I
uh-huh.
tell them where to get it, but yeah, I had no clue, but I enjoy wearing it.
Hell yeah, yeah. So how's your hunting season been?
That was pretty good. I got a little buck there on the very last day as I was squeezing in hunting in the mornings and afternoons in my little tent trailer. My buddy, thank God, got Starlink out at his farm, so I was able to close the magazine, launch the raffle, work online. Otherwise, I would have been stuck at home and my entire season would have been ruined. So
Hmm.
it was great to get out and be able to work out there.
And so, what kind of deer was this?
Just a little mule deer.
Okay.
Probably a 2.5 year old. Got him
Hmm.
like I was laying there. Well, I was sitting out on a point for days, and I thought I caught a glimpse of a buck way off in the distance, just a quick whoop. And so I got down and worked closer to where I thought he was going because I was watching some does and thought he might be going there. They were just starting to get a little into the rut there and start following a little bit. So I thought they might go there. I was laying there watching and looked to my left, and these two big 4x4s that I saw went right by. And so I was trying to catch up to them for a little while. I kept bumping into pockets of does that kept blowing me up. And then they just disappeared somewhere
Hmm.
into the sagebrush. And then I found this little, 3x2 guy and took him. But the highlight was my son was out there by himself and took his first buck and waited for the shot, smoked it, perfect shot right through the lungs,
Hmm.
right behind the shoulders, evaporated the lungs, dropped it right there. It was a cool little 5x4. It was still in velvet. It had I don't know, its testicles were super small, so he's still in
Oh
velvet.
yeah, there's a word for that. Cryptorchid.
Okay.
It's called cryptorchid. Any of these bucks that some of them I think are they're born like a Jamie Lee Curtis buck, with like both parts. But a lot of them will get like say they get their balls caught on a fence or something, and it rips them off. Well, that doesn't kill them, but yeah, then they lack the testosterone to shed the velvet. So they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
stay, and and a lot of them, I don't think they ever lose their antlers. They don't ever drop them. They just keep them. This is what I've heard from biologists. Some of them just have those antlers forever. Just keep
Oh,
growing a
okay.
little bit.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, he was his testicles were small. He was a big buck though, like he was heavy.
Uh huh.
And it was a 5x4. Um, and yeah, still in velvet. But yeah, the guy I talked to, because we had to check in this year for CWD, yeah, he
Yeah.
said the same thing. They get enough, testosterone to kind of grow them, but not enough to trigger them to rub it off. But yeah, so the kid dropped him and did it from 400 yards. So I'm just getting a bunch of trash talk now about whose buck was bigger, who shot the furthest, and
What
such.
caliber did he shoot?
He was shooting a 7 mm 08. He got it for high school graduation. So
Huh. Very nice. Uh, and he shot it at 400 yards. That's a good poke.
yeah, yeah, really good poke. When he said it, I was like, oh boy, 400 yards, and it has to be 3 points on one side. So I could just imagine it was like so we have a bunch of super twos out there with no eye guards, and then, like it went like this, and there was. I just pictured it being, the antler behind creating three, and oh no, he shot an illegal buck. But then he sent me a picture. He's like, "Nope, here it is." I was
Hmm.
like, all right,
Very
Good
cool.
job, kid.
So was this his first buck he's ever shot or his first solo hunt?
Both. Yeah,
Okay.
first buck he had shot. He'd shot cow elk and does and turkeys, but he had never run into anything with antlers. So he was
Uh-huh.
pretty stoked.
Awesome. Uh, Similarly, Henry got his first. He did his first solo hunt. Basically, I turned him and his buddy loose for the weekend, um, and had gotten permission from his buddy's mom. And be like, "Hey, they're gonna have a gun, but they're gonna be in a blind. It's a very controlled environment. They're not gonna be walking around the woods, or God forbid, when Henry dove hunts, I give him one shell at a time to load in his 410. You
Yeah.
know, and I think this past season, towards the end of dove season, I was letting him have two shells, but it's still very structured.
Yeah.
Um,
Good.
but that the dove hunt, like bird hunting, is totally different. I mean, ducks or dove can come in from anywhere.
Yep.
When you're sitting in a blind, it's like, okay, I'm looking in this one direction. The rifle's only going to be pointed in that one direction. There's
Yeah,
no
you're not swinging.
swinging. I
Yeah.
was like, he's not going to load the gun unless he sees something. So anyway, he'd already shot a buck with me. He'd never shot a pig though. The kid has shot a bunch of deer, and it's so crazy that he had never had the opportunity to shoot a pig, I guess. But a big boar came in, and he texted me. He's like, "Dad, I just shot." I'm like, "What'd you shoot?" He's like, it was a pig by itself." And I said, "Okay, it's a boar. Don't go tracking it wait till I get there." And yeah, he was like, "It went this way down this ravine," and there was stone cold dead. Like I'm guessing 230 to 240 pound
Oh,
boar,
nice.
big one. Yeah, double lunged
Yeah.
it with a 140 grain Nosler Accubon. Out of he's a part of Creed Nation, So, which I say the Creedmoor is a great gun for
There's some
a
good jokes here with
child.
you.
Yes, because I am like the leader of making fun of
Yes.
it. And it's because guys shoot elk with it. It's not for any other reason. Like, oh, there's an elk at 600 yards. Let me shoot it with a 6.5 Creedmoor 140 grain bullet. And that's where the jokes have always started for me. It's like the wound more. And it's not because it's not an accurate or lethal caliber. It's because you're way undergunned.
Yeah.
People are like, learn how to shoot. Okay, well, not everyone can take a 600-yard shot. Just because the rifle can shoot doesn't mean you can.
Yeah.
But they
I'm
they
not
think
taking
that
it.
they've got the magical elixir in their hand, and it doesn't always work out like that.
No, not at all.
My friend Ben Dedamani, he goes by Shed Crazy on social media, big shed hunter and Western hunter. He had a funny reel he put out. He's like, "Hey, it's opening day of archery season, so all you guys with 6.5 Creedmoors, you better go shoot your bucks now, so they'll be dead by opening day of rifle season." But Henry that gun has been very good to Henry. He killed a pile of stuff in Africa with it, but a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
its bullet selection, like the Accubond, it's a stone cold killer, just
Yeah.
massive internal devastation. So anyway, congrats to both of our kiddos
Yeah, for
for their
sure.
successes this season. Um, do you do any duck hunting?
I used to. I have a pile of decoys out there. I haven't done it in years. I love it. I absolutely love it. I got a king eider. I got my
Oh yeah,
harlequins. I absolutely love it. Holy cow. A lot of work. Scouting, setting
yeah.
up, freezing your butt off.
You got to be mad
I
at
got
them.
the dog. I got everything except the
Yeah.
gumption to go out and scout and freeze.
So how old are you?
52.
I'm 44. I'm still pretty pissed at them, but not pissed enough to do. Oh, I mean, I don't hunt the reservoirs like I used to. It's all private, and the reason for that is it has everything to do with having kids. Like I want to take them, and they can't. And I didn't have a boat when I was doing the public land death marches. Wake
Yeah.
up at. Sometimes you didn't even wake up; you just stayed up, and then you would get
I've
out
done
there
that many a
to get
time.
your spot, and you can't take a kid out there and say, "Hey, let's walk 3 miles carrying all of this crap and freeze, and then maybe shoot 3 ducks and let's call that fun."
Yeah.
For a kid, no, you want to drive up or have a short walk, throw out the decoys, shoot the ducks, call that good.
have fun in the
And
blind.
they're all in on that. The previous experience that I did as a younger guy, they're not interested in. And would I still do it? Yes, but again, I have kids and a family now, and I don't have the time to do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, and a lot that was a lot of it too when Tuck was younger was yeah, not having the time, wanting to have a positive experience. I mean, I even took him out deer hunting once, and it was below zero. And I was like, oh, this is a bad idea, but I had him bundled up in two sleeping bags and everything else. It went okay, but I was like, this is probably not good.
yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, he's still after him, so you didn't ruin him. You didn't burn
It
him out.
didn't, yeah, didn't ruin him like a puppy.
Hmm. So okay, let's get into a couple of discussion points here today. What's going on with Hawaii, and
Oh,
why does anybody care?
well, Hawaii is that we all think California is bad, and it is. It's horrible.
Hmm.
But Hawaii is like even further left, even further off the coast there of the left coast. They're out there in nowhere land, and they are rabidly anti-gun. I think from what was it? What was the stat in the last 12 years or 15 years or something? They've issued 4 carry conceal permits.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
and they're proud of that fact. Like they'll declare that in the opening of sessions and whenever gun bills come up, like they pound on that being anti-gun. And so they've tried a couple of different things to do. And after the Bruin decision came out, it said gun laws have to be rooted in historic fact and laws at the time of the founding.
Hmm.
And so that changed things around a little bit. And so there's 2 different cases that we filed on in the last couple of weeks. And the one with the historic founding goes back to they tried to justify it by saying that landowners back in the day were the ones who could hunt and the poor peasants weren't allowed to. And therefore they
That
could.
sounds very European, to be
Yes,
honest with you.
yes. And that's why we got involved. This case was going on. We filed an amicus. And so they were justifying what they had done is turned everything into a sensitive place, right? They said,
Uh-huh.
you can't have guns at school, which is a lot of places, gun-free zones, but they turned the whole place into a gun-free zone unless you have written permission from somebody. So
Mm.
you can't conceal carry and walk into a store unless they give you written permission. So they kind of flipped the law on its head of having concealed carry, and they justified it by saying, well, back in the day, the peasants couldn't hunt, only the landowners could hunt. Therefore, the landowners have privy here, and this is how it's going to be. So that's why the Sportsmen's Alliance got involved, was to be like, no, 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 you're relying on antiquated hunting laws, not gun laws, and kind of set the record straight and put our 2 bits in there on
Mm.
that case.
Okay.
And you're seeing this as well as the second case, which is permit to purchase. They have this really crazy permit to purchase scheme where you have to buy it and you have timelines to get it in. And once you buy it, you go through another background check and you have to bring it in for a physical inspection by the police to inspect it, turn all this data in. And if you miss the timeline, you start all over again.
Mm.
And yeah, so those 2 cases are things we're seeing along the West Coast. Washington State, Oregon, California, all have permit to purchases, all try this expanding sensitive areas. So these 2 cases that are going up, one's being argued, I believe, in the Ninth Circuit. The other one is the vampire rule, the sensitive places one, is going to SCOTUS. So that's going to the Supreme Court. So that could
Mm.
be a first domino to fall. That's why people should care about it beyond being Hawaii and a beautiful place that they only visit to get a suntan. This can start setting precedent for the West Coast and toppling some of these gun laws.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't go there to get a suntan. I went there to shoot an axis deer,
Yeah,
and I
that too.
did. Yeah, it was
Nice,
awesome.
nice.
Yeah, Hawaii's so weird. Like they don't have a lot of native wildlife. Most everything has been dumped on that island, including the axis deer, and we did a hog dogging in the jungle, which was super cool. Those are invasive, obviously, the feral hogs. But they have other stuff. So we're walking through the woods, spot and stalk, hunting for axis, and all of a sudden, I was startled by a covey of quail that jumped up, Franklin quail, and I'm like, "What the hell? Where am I?
What are they doing there?
I'm in the jungle. Where are these quail coming from?" And then we're driving around later, and a freaking rooster, a pheasant, runs across the road. I look at the guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
"You have those too?" He's like, "Dude, we have everything." It's like,
They were
and
all
then
brought for like gifts for the king and stuff back in the day.
and nothing kills them.
For royalty. Yeah.
One of the funniest things, and it's also very, and I was on Maui,
Yep.
but it's also very third world in the fact that there's just chickens running around everywhere. Like,
Well, I like the wild cattle that are out there.
yeah, it does not look like the rest of the United States, like the lower 48. We don't just have chickens running around at the coffee shop on the patio of the coffee shop.
Yeah.
So they also at some point in time, like everywhere, they had rats that came over on a ship, and so my buddy Kamanu, he was like, yeah, and here's what we did to combat the rats. We introduced the mongoose.
Now they're everywhere.
Yes, but he said, but the stupid thing is, rats are primarily nocturnal, and the mongoose hunts during the day. So it's like it didn't work. I don't know what the mongoose are eating, but it isn't rats.
Yeah.
So
that's man getting involved with nature. Fix one problem, create a bigger one.
yeah,
Sometimes we don't even fix it.
yeah. So, but yeah, no, Hawaii is beautiful, and it again though super liberal, like you said. So if this can set a precedent for the rest of the West Coast to be like, hey, you morons cannot keep violating people's rights to defend themselves or their property, then, that's obviously a positive thing.
Yep. No, that's the goal, and that's the hope that SCOTUS takes it up and looks at it and makes the right ruling and starts dismantling some of this stuff. Depends on the scope and what they focus on, but that's the hope, that these things come like this and start setting precedent and dismantling these things, and we get our Second Amendment rights back.
Let's move to Florida. So you guys, and I'll give Sportsmen's Alliance and I'll give SCI a lot of credit for getting Florida's bear season back. And we had one, so I've been doing this 17 years. There was 1 year where we had a bear hunt in Florida. And it was probably, I'm going to say it was a decade ago, roughly.
Yeah, 2015, I believe.
2015, okay. So yeah, a decade ago. It was a massive success. The quota was reached in like a day or two.
2 days.
2 days.
2 days, yeah.
But the antis lost their minds. And yet, what is Florida's governing body, their Fish and Wildlife Division? What's it called? Florida Fishing Game? I don't know what it is. Whatever. They like, well, we have too many bears again. So what are we going to do? So they're like, we're bringing the bear hunt back. And, you guys and SCI and used obviously pushing science-based management and through legal channels, got the bear hunt back. And last I heard, these morons, the anti-hunting community, they all applied for the bear tags. And I don't remember what they drew some of them.
Yeah.
But then I saw last week they're offering hunters $2,000 to give up their bear tag and not kill a bear.
Yeah. I love it. I laugh at this approach. It's like, hey, well, that's a good way to go broke and not actually change anything. Actually make it worse, because the next year they increase the tags, the number of tags and harvests. So you're literally just like throwing money away. I guess some of it's going to conservation, but it's like, okay, keep doing this. I want to see how this goes for you, because you're going to go broke.
And they're going to factor in, like, they obviously didn't do it this year, but they'll factor in, okay, what percentage of these tags were drawn by anti-hunters? Well, now we're just going to increase the quota by that percentage going forward if you guys are going to play this game. Because we want the bears shot, period. There's too many.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's a good hunt. They from what I've heard on the back end, Florida's wanted one for a while. But
Yeah.
the threat of a ballot initiative has always loomed. And
Well,
there's almost
Florida's pretty red right now, so
yeah. The problem is ballot initiative, you got public vote and just a popular vote there, and
yeah. I mean,
it's very small hunting percentage. A lot of fishermen there, very small number of hunters, and so that's what people have been afraid of. Does the constitutional amendment help protect from that a little bit? Possibly. So we'll see what happens here in the future. After this year, if they try to push a ballot initiative or something else here in the off cycles.
okay. Some other news. What is the CDC hearing at the Sixth Circuit that's coming
Yeah,
up here?
Yeah, that's coming up here in a few days. I don't know when this airs, but that'll be on Thursday. And that is going back to the puppy ban that's been ongoing, seems like forever. But yeah, the CDC used COVID arid rules to say they are doing inspections of dogs coming into the United States. Now, some of these were, stopping importation of dogs, and what they did was stop it any bringing any puppies in under 6 months of age, especially they're like point blank, you can't do anything. And that's because they used rabies as the catalyst for this, like, so your dog isn't fully inoculated from rabies until 6 months of age, can't have its final. So any dog under 6 months of age can't come in because it can't not have been inoculated against rabies. But they applied it to Canada, which was rabies free before the United States,
Yeah.
the UK, Germany, all these places that are very low risk or no risk. And that has a huge impact on our hunting dog breeds here and lines, especially those really vulnerable ones, the Wachtelhund and some of these German based or UK based
The
breeds.
Drothar.
Yeah, but even smaller pools where you'd need that genetic diversity. And I mean, I've gotten emails from people like, is this settled yet? I'm heading to Germany in 6 months and I'd love to bring a pup back, and so it's a huge ramification, especially with those small breeding pools, genetic pools, for diversity and stuff. And you can't, and if you have dogs, this, like, a breeder cannot hold a dog for 6 months, an
Right.
extra 4 months feeding, vet bills, training. A lot of training happens in that first month, 6 months of exposure, teaching the dog how to learn so it take advanced concepts later on and handle structured training later after 6 months.
Oh yeah. No, that's vital. And you want to have that bond established by 6 months anyway,
Yeah.
So
So we sued, and we're like, no, you're using these same COVID era rules that have been struck down, and this doesn't make sense. Since everything the CDC says they're possibly looking at maybe reviewing the rule, but we've pressed forward with the legal challenge. At trial, it was given to, like, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically like a judge's underling judge. I don't know. And they look at it, and she decided that the government was right, federal government was right, and they have this power, and recommended it, to be upheld. And the judge did that. So we appealed to the Sixth Circuit, and we're going to go in and argue. And our lawyers have found where they've contradicted each other or their own arguments and stuff. And so they're going in and they're going to argue that. And hopefully we win and get this put on stay,
yeah.
and we can start importing pups again.
I mean, it's such a ridiculous thing, and maybe people are like, oh, so what? You can't import a puppy before 6 months. Well, like I said, those bonds with I've had three hunting dogs, all labs. Those bonds are well established, and the training has already started
Oh yeah.
by 6 months. These dogs they've already got basic commands down, and I've moved them on to hiding a duck wing in the house and telling
Yeah.
them to go find it and stuff like that. Like that.
At 6 months, that's when your formal training starts. That's where they're mature enough to
Mhm.
start being able to understand your heel and your structured
Yeah, Joe went to school at 6 months old, and I said, "See you in a year."
Yep. Yep. So
I
that
mean,
so
I think
that's
we went and brought her home for a couple weekends, over holidays and stuff, but she was gone for 11 months.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
literally a full year.
a breeder can't do that on any type of scale. And even if they could, the cost would then be so sky high for doing that that it prices people out. So yeah, so this is why we got involved. Gosh, I think it's been a year and a half ago. Year and a half ago. So it's been a while. So that's a big one coming up. We're hoping for a win on.
Mhm. Is there any other pressing litigation or assaults on hunting
Well,
that we haven't touched on here? I mean, these are the most
those are the biggest ones.
common.
There's an endangered species comments that we're filing that they're updating. The Trump administration's wanting to update the ESA and kind of roll it back to what it was.
Oh my gosh, the ESA is
Yeah.
been completely hijacked. You and I have probably discussed it in detail over the years, but yeah, originally the ESA was a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like we don't want these animals to go extinct. We saved the California condor. Great. We brought back grizzly bears. Wonderful. Well, guess what? Now there's too many grizzlies in Greater Yellowstone, and biologists have said we need to reduce the population. We're past carrying capacity, and Wyoming had it was probably 10 years ago. Also, they drew tags. They said, "Here, you, however many it was, you're going grizzly bear hunting." The first grizzly hunt in the lower 48 since the 70s. And then some douchebag liberal circuit court judge was like, I don't care about sound science. These
Yeah,
grizzlies,
that
we
was
can't have
Judge
these grizzlies.
Malloy. Because we were
Douchebag
running
Malloy.
that case. Yeah, Judge Malloy in Missoula. And he is actually like 80 something years old. And here's what I didn't know. These federal judges or circuit judges, whatever they are, uh, they can like semi-retire. They don't have to hear cases every day. They can just go out and go fishing or do whatever they want to. And then when a case comes up that they want, they can say, I'm in. I want that case.
Oh,
So that's
wow.
what Malloy does. He sits back and HSUS and CBD file in the Missoula circuit, and then he takes the case and almost always rules against us. A couple times he hasn't, but most of the
Mhm.
time he's ruling on their side. And then he goes back into retirement for a while, which seems
What
like
a gig.
yeah, well, just a travesty. So yeah, so that was that in out of Missoula. But yeah, so the Trump administration's wanting to fix some things, get rid of the blanket rule, that in threatened species are basically treated exactly like endangered species, and start doing some things. There's some concerns, with public lands and using, energy development, that balance that you have to look at. So we're filing comments on that, and those will be filed here in a week. I think they're due by the 21st.
Generally speaking, Sportsmen's Alliance is um, pro energy as long as it's done responsibly, or would you say no?
Responsibly, yeah, that's the key, is like you got to look at it. Okay, is there really we're not just blanket going to say, no energy whatsoever. These are multiple use lands. That's where they were
Mm.
developed, especially the BLM lands. They were developed
But
for
I
multiple
think
use.
groups like backcountry hunters and anglers forget that. Like they don't understand that, yes, this is supposed to be grazed, mined, uh, logged.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah, we look at it through the lens of the law, and what were these originally and
multi-use.
historically created for, and how are they used. Now, is it, if there's a threat to something, or it's very, I hate to use the word because it gets thrown around a lot, but it is nuanced, like, okay,
Yeah, like
yes,
maybe the
we can
pebble
do
mine
both
wasn't
here.
a great idea. I think I can agree with that. Like I'm
Yeah.
not upset that didn't happen. right?
Yeah.
Bad
Yeah.
idea. Shoot it down. But to just blanket say no energy development on public land, but if you want to put solar panels on there like Biden
Yeah.
did, we're
Yeah.
fine with that. I didn't hear a bunch of bitching about that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Or
uh,
windmills. Yeah.
what an
Wind.
eyesore.
Yeah. Well, and just you want to talk about, uh, what was it with the Eagles? Oh, the lead that the Biden administration did, and they cited the Eagle Protection Act and saying that it was causing eagles to get sick and killing some
Eagles
of them.
are, who's overpopulated right now? Eagles.
Well, just to drive it
And I'm
home.
not saying go hunt eagles or that we should be allowed to or anything like that. I'm just saying the Eagles are doing pretty damn good. So,
Yeah. And it didn't even say it was, really hurting them. It was slowing their population growth. But the point here is that they were using the Eagle Protection Act to ban lead on wildlife refuges, all lead, sinking lures, whatever, sinkers, lures, shot shells, bullets, whatever, justifying it through the death of eagles, yet expanding wind turbines everywhere that kill eagles. So
right.
are we going to compare the two? And are we sticking to this? Is that your argument? It's talking out both sides of your mouth.
Yeah. There's a good article, and I just had Chris Dorsey on last week of Sporting Classics. He writes for Forbes also.
Yeah.
And he just completed his North American 29, his Super Slam, and the last animal was a polar bear. And so he went up to Nunavut and in Canada, and then I think the town was called Arviat. And he wrote an article for Forbes about not the hunt itself, but about grizzly populations in the great climate change hoax.
Grizzly or polar bear?
Did I say grizzly? I'm sorry, polar bear.
Yeah.
Did I say grizzly? No, polar bear. Polar bear. White bears, big bears.
Yeah.
So he goes up there and he hunts polar bear. And but he doesn't really talk about that in the Forbes article because he just wants to get the message out and not alienate potential readers about, hey, the polar bear's population has actually increased by 5,000 since you listed it as threatened back. I think it was 1984, and then the Bush, George W. They banned the importation of grizzly or of polar bear in 2010, somewhere 2008, 2010. The polar bears are still getting shot. These tribes have X number of tags, and they're shooting them, whether it's a paid hunter or they're shooting them themselves.
Yeah.
But the guide was like, dude, we have more polar bears now than we know what to do with. And they are changing the way they hunt because when there's no sea ice, well, these seals still come into the low water areas and they're hanging out, on dry land and then getting a little fat and happy. And the polar bears just hunt them now in shallow water or on dry land or even in open water.
Yeah.
And they're also killing beluga whales. So the point was the polar bear is doing just fine despite. And you know who created that? Historically, do you know who basically they had an agenda and they said we're going to make
Al Gore.
Who?
I'm guessing Al Gore.
No. It was two Nat Geo photographers. I guess Nat Geo said let's push this climate change narrative and let's get the polar bear to be basically our unofficial mascot. Yeah. And they did. And what they did was they found an emaciated looking old ass individual polar bear and put out the message like this is what polar bears look like now because of the changing climate.
Yeah.
And his whole thing was
they got called out on it too. Yeah.
I know they did, but the damage was done.
Yep. Well, it's just like the trophic cascade and the wolf in Yellowstone. That video has been seen 40 million times, yet study after study comes out and scientists after scientists say, no, nothing is that easy. This is not true. A 20-year study out of Colorado just came out and said, no, it doesn't have that kind of impact. Yet you still see the headline. I just saw it this week of, wolves and changing rivers in Yellowstone. like it's a new thing, but yeah, it won't die. That's going to be just like that emaciated polar bear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so it's funny. Like he even had the IUCN numbers of global populations, and then in Canada specifically, where the import ban is most affected, the bear population has gone up despite climate change, despite the fact that the locals or Canadians or European hunters or whoever are still killing the same number of grizzlies. Every permit is used, but the bears are thriving. So I don't know,
Yeah.
but I guess the real takeaway from that, which is also true when you talk about Africa or these which ibex species is it that is hunted in maybe Pakistan or Nepal or somewhere that was almost extinct, but through sustainable use hunting, a tag is like $250,000, which that money is then dumped back into that ibex. But the point was that trophy import bans, are not effective. It doesn't affect anything. All it does is deter American hunters from spending their money on the conservation of that species. That's all it does. So it negatively impacts the species because there's no
Yeah.
money for them. So
But
and no hunter travels like the American hunter. There are Mexicans, there's Spaniards, there's Europeans that do travel, but not like Americans. It's not even close. I mean, my PH in South Africa will say, yeah, 90% of my business is Americans. 90%.
dang.
So you get the occasional European, and there is a good amount of, and well, Spanish people are European, but he's like, we do get a lot of Spaniards, some Germans, some Russians, but he's like, if it wasn't for Americans, we wouldn't have a viable business.
Yeah. And then think about what that does to conservation and those concessions. And yeah.
Mega Raffle. This is the big one. So you guys do this every year.
Yeah. I think
This
it's the,
is fifth year, and this is Sportsmen's Alliance's big fundraising event for the year.
yes. Yes. This is our biggest by far. Like we have a couple of events here and there and some other raffles and, smaller, but this one's big. And I mean, it's great odds. It's $100 for a ticket. Buy as many as you want. But even at just $100, there's 300 prizes, like 44 trips to Africa, South America,
Wait,
Alaska.
44 safaris?
There's probably 10 or 20 safaris in there.
But
10.
like you call it safari wherever, but hunting trips all over the globe. There's over 40 of these that are being raffled
Yeah,
off.
I mean, Texas and Alaska are in there. There's some other hunts in there within the United States, but there's a solid 10 or 20. There's at least 20 to South America and Africa.
Oh wow.
And then there's 100 different guns, firearms. We got optics in there from Vortex. Gosh, there's camping gear. There's all sorts of gear, but those are like the big ones, like 44 different huge trips, and a lot of guns. And your $100 ticket is entered in all 300, and you can win more than once. So like the odds are like, oh, okay, But then on top of that, there's we got side raffles this year. Something new we tried. Uh, there's a fishing frenzy, and it's a $25 ticket. There's six prizes there. The grand prize is a boat, tracker boat with 40 horsepower motor, and then 5 trips around North America: Saskatchewan, Alaska, Oregon. For different fishing trips. Um, the dream vacation, which would be one I'd definitely enter if I could enter these things. But that's like the winner. There's one winner there, but you get $10,000 cash and a trip to like one of 8 places, like Bali, Spain, France, somewhere else, or any sporting event in the U.S. And that's $25. Uh, and if you buy 3 Mega Raffle tickets, you get the equal number of entries, whatever you buy, into the Browning bonus raffle, which is giving away 5 new Browning guns: shotgun, 2 rifles, 2 handguns. So there's a
Wow.
lot of different options to get involved at there and win big.
Yeah. What have you looked at the actual hunts themselves?
Yeah, yeah. And
So, like,
I
what are some of the actual like? I'm going to win this safari. Is it for Cape Buffalo or Plains game, or what am I hunting in South America? Or like, go talk us through some of the details.
yeah, not not a Cape Buffalo, but there's zebra. There's
Uh huh.
zebra plains game mostly. The I think what else could you get on there? I don't know. I just actually got pictures from last year's. One of last year's winners just sent me a whole bunch of pictures with he and his son both rifle and bow hunting. Uh,
Mm.
Various plains game, and there was a zebra in there, and I think a jackal and stuff. And
Oh, I'm
so,
sure some of the usual suspects: impala and
yeah, yeah,
blessed buck and springbuck and
yep,
hartebeest and wildebeest, all that stuff.
yeah. The zebra was really cool.
Oh yeah.
But that there's a couple
You
of
want to
different.
lose some followers? Slap a zebra up on your page.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know from experience. I've done it 3 times.
Maybe I won't use that in the
I've
marketing.
shot 3 zebra, and they've all. I'm all sitting there smiling. You know, every one. I'm like, here's. I don't give a damn. If you want to unfollow, you know where the button is.
Yeah,
Push it. Make
yeah.
my day. God. Oh, and you want to extrapolate that by a couple thousand? Show them a giraffe that you shot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
Um,
care. I'm here to tell the story, and the story is there's more giraffe in the countries where you can hunt them than
yep.
in the countries where it's prohibited. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, you dumbass anti-hunter. Or you're even worse. You're the worst is the hunter who's like, oh, I gotta unfollow. He shot a giraffe. I'm like,
Yeah,
why don't you get your head out of your ass and use your brain and understand that this is conservation. And if it's not for you, that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
I'm not asking you to hunt a giraffe. I'm not asking you to do anything. But if you are a hunter and you support hunting, then there is no, and this is what I always say, there is no I'm a hunter but. You're either I'm a hunter or I'm on the other side. I'm not really invested in this. I don't care about the future of these animals or the sport. If you say I'm a hunter but you shouldn't shoot a black bear, or why would you trap a wolf, or you know, you got to use a barbless hook, if you're a fisherman, or why would you keep a largemouth bass? Get out of
yeah,
here.
yeah.
These are the laws. If you're following the law, I'm going to support you. Or why did you shoot that 2.5? You shot it. You even said you shot a young buck.
Yeah.
Some people would be like, why would you do that? Who gives a damn? It's my tag. I can do what I want with it
Yeah, yeah,
because it
and
made
it's
me
different.
happy and it tastes good.
Oh yeah, delicious, delicious.
Mm.
But and I think that's having been an outdoor writer and editor for years, and having traveled the entire country, especially when you bring everybody together on social media, I think a lot of that is lost. Like it's different parts of the country have different traditions,
Hmm.
different everything, as well as different populations. Like you would never shoot the deer I shot, but that was like the only one of two legal bucks I saw in 10 days of hunting every
Sounds
single
like
day.
my Colorado trip. And I almost shot a young 2x2. I'm guessing he was probably about 2.5. He might have been a 3x3. I couldn't tell. But I didn't want to pack him out. And I also had 2 more mule deer hunts coming up this year. So I was just like, mainly I didn't want to pack him out. Like it's like I didn't need the meat. I was there for the experience, and if I didn't get a nice mature buck, I didn't. It wasn't something that I really cared about. But also, my freezer was full, so that if it was empty, I'd have pulled the trigger.
Yeah. Well, this was a discussion I had with my buddy where I hunted his place. I said something about the stages of a hunter. He's
Mhm.
like, "What are they?" So I went through the stages of the hunter. You just want to shoot, you want to pull the trigger, you want to get limits, and then you start to kind of handicap yourself and go for a mature animal, a trophy, if you want to call it that.
Or pick
Uh,
up a bow.
and then you start handicapping yourself by using bows or muzzle loaders or whatever. And then you kind of move into where you really just get off on watching people come into the sport and mentoring them. He's like, huh, no, I've done all those, but I never hit like a trophy stage. I was like, but you can't. You don't have the option because you don't have the deer here. Go to Texas or Wisconsin or someplace in the Midwest or back east where there's lots of deer and you're going to see them every day, and you can pass on, a 3.5-year old or a 4-year old or whatever. You can pass on it knowing you're going to see more in the coming time. Out here, our deer numbers are so low that you can't do that. Like,
Is that because of your state, Washington State's mismanagement of predators, or EHD, or some combination? I mean,
all of it. You throw it in. Plus, we hunt in October. They're not rutting. Like, you'll see the bucks during the rut, but they're still nocturnal when we are allowed to hunt in the first 10 days of October. You're hunting, so they're not out. They're not active. They're not chasing. They're still pretty much nocturnal. We have bears. We have a ton of mountain lions. We have wolves. We have coyotes. We don't have a ton of habitat. Where I hunt is sagebrush and some isolated tree, lines and stuff like that, little canyons that they hide in. So it's just a tough spot to be a deer.
yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And then you said you had to take it to get it tested for EHD as well.
Chronic wasting disease.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they just moved in last year with a positive test, and so it's mandatory.
Oh, it's the boogeyman. Sorry. Yeah, it's
then I get it. I was thinking about this, like, I haven't got my results. They said it would be 6 weeks. I haven't got my results. I probably got half that deer eaten.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I have said it for forever. If you hunt in an area where there's positive CWD testing results coming out, like, I don't know what percentage of Wisconsin deer hunters have eaten a CWD positive deer, but I bet it's half in their life. Like, I bet it's a lot, and nobody's ever gotten sick. So why do we? It's not the boogeyman. The boogeyman that, and also, you won't know that a deer has CWD.
Yeah,
it might die of old age before it exhibits any external symptoms. This is scientific truth. When people show photos of emaciated bucks with their ribs showing and their tongue hanging out, it's usually EHD.
Yep.
And that will kill them. It'll kill them quick. That isn't it's going to incubate inside the animal for 4 or 5 years. No, that's going to kill you and really have a profound impact on a specific population of deer very quickly.
Yeah, hammers.
So why do we not like, I don't understand why CWD is the white, or the it's not even the whitetail mule deer. It's the boogeyman for cervids, yet EHD is infinitely worse. And we don't spend the money on testing and dumping all of our efforts. I think it's just a big money making scam is what I think. I know Texas Parks and Wildlife gets a lot of grant money for CWD research. Well, they don't want to give that grant money up.
True.
And I love Texas Parks and Wildlife. I have a great relationship with them, but I'll call a spade, and like, I just don't see any evidence to say that CWD is the grim reaper for cervid herds. So you've probably eaten half of a CWD positive deer. Look at you. You look pretty healthy.
We'll find out.
You're looking good, Brian. Looking good, man. Feeling strong.
It's the shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we've got over 40 hunts. We've got a handful of fishing trips. We've got over 100 guns, and you can throw your hat in the ring for $100.
$100 on Mega, $25 on the side raffles. There's a 50-50 pot that's $25. I think it's sitting around 40 or 50,000 right now. Last year it topped 300,000, so the guy walked away with 151,000. So a lot of opportunity to win. Yeah, like, you're talking real money.
How many members do we have?
In the raffle?
No, just members of Sportsmen's Alliance.
I don't know.
What does it cost? $35 a year?
$35 a year. Yeah, that's the entry level where you get the magazine, and I don't know what it is. I think it's a dry bag or a water bottle, like stainless steel bottle, and then it goes.
I mean, this just seems like I'm interested to know what the membership is, because this seems like it seems like the giveaways, the raffles, almost too good to be true. Like, how do you guys have the resources to get all of these awesome hunts and gear and guns and all that stuff.
A lot of it is industry support that they give it to us at a discount or donate it. A lot of it is we have to buy it, and then we're hoping, hoping we do this. And it's not just members; it's anybody that's out there.
Sure.
If you're a hunter, join, or you don't even have to join. Just buy a ticket, and you might win something, and you're helping protect hunting and helping us fight these guys in courts and legislatures.
And that's where most of our revenue goes to, is toward the legal battle.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big one, and I think we've filed more lawsuits in the last year or 18 months than we have in the last 40 years combined. 50 years, we're only 47 years. So in the last 45 years combined, I think we're sitting around a dozen lawsuits right now on everything from guns to dogs to
Active lawsuits.
Active lawsuits.
Yeah.
If I ever get time, I'm going to finish my litigation page that I have going that has all the historic lawsuits and all the active ones and the impact to hunters. And I just am getting buried. So I'm almost there. I'll have that out soon.
Well, I don't envy that, but I do appreciate it. So thanks for all of the work that you do, everything that Sportsmen's Alliance does. And the Mega Raffle is just at on the website.
Yeah, it's on the website. Go to sportsmensalliance.org, and there's a pop-up that comes up because I put that up the other day, and there's a little banner down below where you can just go to events and raffles, and all of them are outlined right there, and you can pay for it right there.
Am I eligible? I mean, we work together. Am I eligible to win? You can't win. Can I win? Okay.
You can win. I can't win. My family can't win, or else Tuck would be entering a whole bunch.
Yeah. All right. Well, when I win, I don't want anyone to be like, "Oh, there's collusion there. Cable's getting to go on this South American dream adventure." Well, he bought the damn ticket.
That's right. Yeah. Then you just got to bring Brian.
Yeah. You'll be my +1. Yeah. All right, man. Well, y'all check it out. The Mega Raffle, sportsmansalliance.org. Buy a ticket, buy 5, tell a friend, buy a ticket for your friend or your son or whatever.
Christmas.
Hey, that's, you know what? This is in your stocking. Well, what the hell is it? It's your entries into a badass hunting safari. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And we'll draw the winner when?
It will be
winners, lots of winners.
It closes December 31st at midnight.
Okay.
And then we got to compile all the data and make sure if somebody sent something in and it's postmarked by the 31st. So it pushes it out a few days. And then we take it all, we bundle it and send it to a CPA lawyer, something or other, to make it all official. We don't touch it. We don't.
Okay, you're getting way too into the details for me there.
Yeah.
What can I?
So it'll be sometime in the first week or so of January.
Okay, here's the question: can I enter a minor? Can I buy Henry tickets? Or do I need to put my name on it?
Yeah, the problem becomes there with guns. If he were to win a gun, he wouldn't be eligible.
I'll put my name in parentheses underneath.
There you go. Or put his on there in parentheses.
Okay. For Henry Smith. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, man, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for the time, and obviously a huge fan and supporter of everything that you guys do, because it is a thankless job trying to keep tabs on the anti-hunting agenda in all 50 states, even like state like Hawaii, where nobody cares or nobody seems to care. It's still important, and it has profound impact. What if Hawaii said, you know what, you can't bring a rifle to come hunt axis deer? Well, yeah, I want to bring my rifle. I want to come to your state, and I want to shoot a deer and go to the beach and go fishing. And, you're still a state, so I do care a little bit.
Yep. And you're still beholden to the Constitution that you agreed to when you came on. So
yeah, and you can't let even the little one get away with it. So
no, because as we said in the release that we wrote, that what they can apply to a handgun, they can apply to a long gun, whether that's a shotgun or a rifle. And Kavanaugh said it in the Supreme Court. There is no difference.
Yeah. Yep. Well, right on, man. I appreciate it. And
thank you.
We'll do it again. Probably, I know you love spring bear and spring turkey, although you don't have a spring bear season anymore, but maybe you'll go to Idaho. Thank the put a left wing game commission in charge, and that's what you get. No spring bear season. So I don't. I mean, I just don't. It's probably because of family and stuff, but I don't know. I'd be checking out of Washington State. I would have left a long time ago.
I left for 10 years and then I came back.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it
family and
wasn't always like that.
no, no, growing up it was pretty good. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
But since then it's gone downhill rapidly, and boy, they just can't seem to balance a budget, that's for sure.
Well, and Colorado's like, hold my beer, watch what we can do. So,
Yep, yep.
yeah. Well, right on, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. Good catching up.
$35. Join Sportsmen's Alliance. So cheap, and these lawsuits are not free. Attorneys are not free. So it doesn't. Every $35 makes everything helps. So,
Yeah, thank you.
all right, buddy. Take care.
See ya.